The room was golden, buzzing with champagne laughter and velvet gowns, but Odette Marshall stood in the wings of the ballroom, staring at her trembling hands. This was supposed to be her night. After 20 years of late nights, missed holidays, and thankless research, she had finally been invited to deliver the keynote at the largest charity gala of the year, a $10 million fundraiser that would gather billionaires, CEOs, and world leaders in one room. Her name was printed on the glossy program in bold letters: Dr. Odette Marshall, keynote speaker. And yet, as the orchestra's strings swelled and the master of ceremonies prepared to announce her, Odette's phone buzzed with a notification she almost didn't check. It was an email, sent yesterday, from her sister, Amelia. "Hi, just a note. Odette sometimes freezes under pressure. She's brilliant, but easily overwhelmed. If that happens, please don't hesitate to invite someone else to step in and cover her portion. We'd all hate for the moment to get awkward. Thanks for understanding." Her breath caught. The screen blurred. For a second, the glittering chandeliers overhead felt like they were crashing down on her. It wasn't the first time. All her life, Amelia had been the family's golden child, the charming one, the confident one. At family dinners, when Odette tried to talk about her research on poverty models or her proposals for economic reform, someone would always interrupt. Amelia would translate in simpler words, then claim the applause for herself. Their parents would smile, proud of Amelia's eloquence, while Odette sat quiet in the shadows. But tonight was supposed to be different. She slipped the phone into her clutch, her heart pounding. The easy path would have been too crumbly to believe, as always, that her voice wasn't enough, that someone else should step in. But something inside her snapped. Years of being underestimated, sidelined, spoken over broken bar, enough was enough. When the announcer's voice boomed, "Please welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Odette Marshall." She straightened her back and stepped onto the stage. Alone. The ballroom lights blinded her at first. Rows of powerful faces stared back: senators, philanthropists, CEOs. Her parents sat near the front, Amelia next to them, leaning in as if ready to leap up and rescue her. Her throat tightened, but Odette gripped the podium. "Good evening," she began, her voice steadier than she expected. "I was told there was concern I might freeze tonight." A ripple of confusion swept across the room. Amelia shifted uncomfortably in her seat. Odette continued, her eyes locked on her sister. "And I understand why some might think that. I've spent most of my life a broken bar, invisible, the quiet one, the one who works behind the scenes while someone else explains my work better, shines brighter, speaks louder. But tonight, I want to say this: invisibility is not weakness. Silence is not ignorance, and those who underestimate the quiet ones often miss the very people changing the world." The words weren't scripted. They came raw, pulled from decades of swallowed frustration, and as she spoke, she felt something lift off her chest. She pivoted into her keynote seamlessly, explaining the urgency of tackling economic inequality, weaving data with stories of real families struggling to survive. But it wasn't just numbers this time, it was personal. She spoke about her own childhood, about the years of hearing "you're not enough," and how that same quiet resilience built the models now being implemented in policy around the world. By the time she finished, the ballroom was silent. Then an eruption of applause. Not polite clapping, but a standing ovation that shook the chandeliers. Odette's eyes welled as she glanced at her parents. For once, they weren't looking at Amelia. They were looking at her, their daughter, their economist, their keynote speaker. Later that night, as donors pledged record-breaking amounts, journalists swarmed her for interviews, and strangers stopped her just to say thank you, Odette caught sight of Amelia in the corner. For the first time, her sister wasn't the center of the circle. She stood alone, pale, watching Odette finally take her rightful place. Odette smiled softly, not with malice, but with peace. Because tonight wasn't about revenge. It was about reclaiming herself. And as she left the ballroom with her head high, she knew she would never again let anyone else write her script. The strong message lingered in the air. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is step out of the shadows and speak your truth, because the world cannot afford your silence.